Thank you. And then I'll...
Recording in progress. Cool.
It's nice and silent tonight in my house because the kids went out for a birthday. So
Oh,
I'm like, wow, what is this? You know, you kind of
it feels weird, eh, when it's too quiet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now my little one's watching TV, so she might come say hello.
That's
And
cool.
the dog might come and say hello.
Yeah, my kids have done this so many times. They're like, Mom, and then she goes in front of the camera, and yeah, so I'm like, okay.
But you know, I actually enjoy it. I used to be in corporate, and just before COVID hit, you know, everyone is like so wearing suits and whatever. And then COVID hits, and then everybody sees each other's family, each other's kids.
Exactly.
Like it's more family-like, you know, like everyone is more human, not a robot, you know.
I actually really appreciate it. I have been enjoying that. It's like, it's okay, it's cool. You try and keep it to a limit, but obviously I think it's cool when other people's kids jump in and you're like, hello, and then you say hello and stuff. It's quite cute.
Yeah. Oh, I think, sorry, Yolanda, did I not let her in? Sorry. Oh, no, I think I did. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone.
Oh yeah, where are you originally from?
I'm Russian, but I came here from the States, and my husband and I met at the States, and then we lived there for a few years, and then I fell pregnant, and he was like, no, babe, let's go back home. And we moved here 5-6 years ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
Back.
And is he South African?
Yes, he's a proper Afrikaans, proper boer. Burki, yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love it. Yeah, it's a beautiful country.
Yes.
Just like a few issues that hopefully we can all come together and fix. And other than that, beautiful country.
My favorite is the garden route, Western Cape. That scenery for me is just.
I haven't done that yet.
Haven't you? Oh no, that must be on the bucket list. That, and then Mpumalanga, the north. It's very foresty.
Yeah, we went to Mpumalanga. We also, I want to go to Drakensberg. I haven't been there yet.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, you'll enjoy it there. The forest.
So Ollie,
yes,
you come down to St. Francis Bay and come and stay with me, and then from here you can explore the beautiful coastline and the garden route, etc. So you've got a place to stay.
Deal. I'll be happy to do that. Thank you so much, Yolanda.
That's stunning. It's really stunning.
Also, I've been to Cape Town. Cape Town is beautiful. And the Table Mountain, Bella Bella, and that area, Durban, also very beautiful. My husband told me Limpopo is amazing, especially in summer, the night. You know, the sky is so beautiful, filled with the stars, and just looks magnificent.
Oh, brilliant. No, I'm glad you've explored. That's cool. That's cool. Are there any newbies on the session today?
Can you see the gallery, Candice?
I can see Louise, Lorato, Yolanda, and Torashini, and yourself.
Yeah, there's 6 of us.
Okay, so I don't think there's any newbies. So you're welcome to jump right.
Wildflower.
Oh, hello, Kirsten. Cool, welcome. Yeah, so you can jump in when you're ready, hey?
Okay, so guys, let me share my screen with you then, and we will begin. Okay. Okay, so it's loading. Let me know if you guys can see it. Can you guys see it?
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Awesome, thank you. All right, guys. So first of all, thank you so much for finding the time to be here. I know there's so many other things that you would rather do. It's the evening and it's a family time, so I really appreciate you being here. And I hope that I can add more value or add value into your lives by sharing this information. Today, we're going to talk about how to optimize your brain, how to nourish it, and how to feed it. And so that you can fight all the cognitive decline and you can fight Alzheimer's and dementia. But I must mention that if you have Alzheimer's already, there's no current cure for that. But more than 90% of Alzheimer's cases can be prevented if you change your lifestyle, if you change your diet. Also, while I was doing this presentation, I learned that more than half of all the seniors that reach the age of 85 die with Alzheimer's, which is unbelievable if you know that you can, if you start early enough, you can prevent it. Just so that you guys know, nothing that I share with you is a medical advice. It's just coaching, it's education, and you must always consult with your doctor because they know your family history, they know everything about you. So before you make any changes, rather consult with the doctor that you trust. And again, you gotta trust them. I had a physician here that we weren't on the same page, so find someone who believes in the same things that you believe. With me, it's all into natural. So my doctor, my previous doctor, was more into antibiotics and prescription medication. So we weren't on the same page. Now I found the one that feels me, and I can speak to him about, about all of that. Now, hi everyone. Who am I? My name is Oli, and I am a international classical Pilates instructor and a plant-based nutrition coach. I am not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not a neuroscientist, none of that, but I'm very crazy about healthy lifestyle. And because of that, I forever sign up for health webinars, health summits. And I wanted to put this summit for so long now, that information for so long, because I was at a health summit early in the year. And thanks to Candace, that kept pushing me and saying, Oli, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? I finally put it together. And I hope that the information that I'm going to share with you that I got from the doctors and neuroscientists, that you're going to see their information here as well, is going to help you later in life as well. Now, you can find me on social media, you can find me on my website, yada, yada. So, all that jazz. Now, first we're gonna talk about the Dr. Dean and Aisha Sherzai. They are neurologists, and they are brain science researchers. And you can see here, they discovered that you can decrease your chance of Alzheimer's by 90%, which is unbelievable. Like, can you imagine? There's not one drug that can do that, but you can decrease your chance of Alzheimer's by food and lifestyle choices. They are the directors of Alzheimer's. Well, I'm not even going to read, you guys can read it here, but they've been doing this for decades. They are husband and wife, and they live in California, and they practice in a very interesting area that's called Loma Linda. And they looked at different populations, and they found that certain type of population had a lot lower risk of getting Alzheimer's. So here I wanted to show you a few areas that they found, because there's been a lot of research during the last so many years just to see if there's anything that we can do to cure it. But they found something that's called blue zones. Blue zones are, do you guys know what blue zones are? Okay, so blue zones, if you guys, some of you don't know, blue zones are the areas where the people live healthier and happier than the average. So they have a different lifestyle and generally healthier than the average population. So when they looked at those blue areas, they found that the lowest rates of Alzheimer's were in Loma Linda, which is in California near San Bernardino, if you guys know the geography of my beautiful California place. And then in India, which is very interesting because, in India, they use a lot of spices. Turmeric is very big spice in India, which is highly anti-inflammatory. Some research shows that Japan has one of the lowest rates, and also Nigeria, which is very interesting because Nigeria has a gene that's associated with an increased risk of Alzheimer's, but yet they have the blue zone in a way that they have a lower risk, or lower rates of Alzheimer's. Now, these doctors, they practice in Loma Linda, which is a city in San Bernardino, and it's one of the only blue zones in America, because America is very, there's a lot of pollution, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that. So this is a very interesting area for research because of how different it is. So scientists looked at all diabetes and heart disease and other diseases, chronic diseases, and they found that a particular lifestyle can significantly reduce the risk of those chronic diseases, including Alzheimer's. And Dr. Sherzai discovered that it's more lifestyle than the genetics that plays a big role in Alzheimer's, which is crazy because oftentimes people say it's genetics, but only, I will show you later more stats, but it's only 3% of population that is genetically of Alzheimer's. 3% is genetics. Everything else is can be preventable. So if you do genetically predisposed to it, there's nothing that you can do. If you have those particular genes, there's nothing you can do, unfortunately, but 97% of things that you can do to prevent the development or the risk of Alzheimer's. Now, as I mentioned, the areas that have lowest rates of Alzheimer's. So with Loma Linda, what's interesting, it's a very small city, but it has about 25,000 people, and half of those people have that particular lifestyle. Out of those 25,000 people, and remember, so half has a particular lifestyle, the other half doesn't. They had 3,000 patients with dementia. And out of those 3,000 patients, only 19 were on a whole food plant-based diet or lifestyle. And if you think about it, so if the population, half of it is plant-based, half of it is not, then if food doesn't play any role in your Alzheimer's, then the patients should also be 50-50. But here, what they discovered is those that lead whole food plant-based lifestyle are a lot less likely to develop Alzheimer's or cognitive decline or other cases of dementia. So basically, the more plant-based you are, the more organic you are, the cleaner you eat, the lower your risk of Alzheimer's. Now, another doctor that was part of that summit, his name is Dr. Daniel Amen, and he's a child and adult psychologist. and psychiatrist, and he conducted a lot of tests, a lot of scans on people from all over the world. And he was he shared a very interesting information about depression, anxiety, bipolar disorders, and addictions, PTSD, ADHD, and all of those mental issues that are skyrocketing now, especially after during the COVID, or with the introduction of COVID, because of all that anxiety that people are going through currently. And he said that especially with the kids, so oftentimes when we see, or when doctors see that the child might have ADHD or has ADHD, they prescribe them the same medication that was prescribed years and years and years ago. So the treatment of those mental issues weren't changed in decades. Sorry guys, not a native English speaker, so some of words are going to be a little bit off. So either way, the treatment of those issues were not changed. They were not evolved. The only thing that evolved is the billions of dollars that are invested into development of those medications. So with the mental issues, or the problem is that when the doctors look at it, they look at the mental aspect of it, but they don't look at the brain aspect of it, which is quite strange, because if you drink a lot of alcohol, your liver gets affected. If you smoke, your lungs get affected. But if you have mental issues, we don't look at the underlying issue that causes it, which is, could be brain, could be something that you eat that causes your brain to function differently. Now, here, I want to show you this slide, which is also very interesting, that your brain is about 2% of your body's weight, which is about 1.5 kg. And then it uses 20 to 30% of calories that you consume. And the interesting part is what these doctors shared is that if you have a fast food diet, then you have a fast food brain, which makes sense. There was a study that was conducted in Australia. There were 2 islands next to each other. One island had a fast food stop and the other one didn't. And when they compared the results, so they compared the health, the vitals of the people, the health, the vitamins, the minerals, the blood and everything, they found that those that did the island and the people that didn't have the fast food stop or fast food shop on their island had higher omega-3s fatty acids that are that the doctors say that omega-3s are very good for your brain. And also they have lower level of 5 times lower level of depression. So if you can see that fast food, according to the research, fast food and all that junk doesn't just affect your brain, it also affects your mood, affects your mental health as well. Also, another really interesting thing is they found a linear correlation between the number of fruit and vegetable that you eat and your level of happiness. So the more fruit and vegetables you eat, the happier you become, which is, I find very interesting. Now, with Alzheimer's, sometimes the question is it too late to change? The interesting part about, or fascinating part about Alzheimer's is that the foundation starts 20, 30 years before you can actually see the symptoms. So if you put your body in the right environment, it can heal itself. So imagine like when you cut yourself, if you keep hammering on that wound, it's never going to heal. But if you let it heal, if you clean it and let it heal, don't touch it, your body has a natural ability to heal itself. So these doctors that conducted a lot of studies on Alzheimer's patients and people with cognitive issues altogether, they see that there can be a reversal if you are in pre-dementia state. So if you are still in those states before Alzheimer's or before proper dementia happens, then you can reverse it. But if you already have it, there's unfortunately at this point, there is no treatment to reverse Alzheimer's. what are the early signals of Alzheimer's? So I don't know about you guys, my husband forever misplaces his keys. Like, that's why we're always late, because he can never find the keys. But is that an early sign of Alzheimer's? So the doctors suggest that usually, because we live in such a crazy world, a lot of things happening, people having multiple jobs, multiple businesses, we are multitasking all the time, we are distracted. So if you misplace the keys and you can't remember where they are, if you forget about the meeting, it's not a sign of cognitive decline. It's just a sign of being distracted or just having too much on your plate. But if you're starting to have the same issues over and over and over again, multiple issues, multiple forgetting issues, like you forget the keys, you forget the meeting, you forget this and this and this at the same time, and when your close surrounding starts to noticing it, then you might want to get checked, because the sooner you start getting yourself back on track on a healthy lifestyle, the more chance of a healthier old age you've got without the risk of Alzheimer's. Now, what I wanted to mention as well, so there are about 25 genes that are related, also 25 or so, that are related to Alzheimer's, but only 3% of Alzheimer's is driven by the genes. So if you don't have those genes, and if you lead a healthy lifestyle, you shouldn't worry about your cognitive function, about your risk of Alzheimer's. But later on, I'm going to tell you a few more things, actionable steps that you can incorporate in your lifestyle, so that you can make sure that your mind is sharp, and even when you're 85, you're still good to go and you're not forgetting stuff. Now, what are the risk factors of Alzheimer and dementia? As I mentioned, 3% are driven by genes. So if you have those genes, there's unfortunately nothing you can do at this point. But then again, there's new research showing up, there's new studies coming up. So maybe in how many years, there can be something that we can do about it. But at this point, 3% genes. But happy or good part about it is that 97% we can do things to protect ourselves from that. So smoking, bad for your brain. Excessive alcohol, bad for your brain. Head trauma, saturated fat, we'll go deeper into it, and sugars, lacking of physical activity. So now we're living in such a sedentary lifestyle. We're forever in front of the computer. This can also affect your brain and your mental capacity. Stress, and show me one person who's not stressed right now. Sleep, and your mental activity. What type of work you do? Are you forever in that half-stressed situation where you need to quickly think, you're on your toes, but something that's like a healthy type of stress, something that is interesting, something that challenges you, something that motivates you? So if you have those types of healthy stresses, that these are good because they are good for your mental activity. They say that if you don't, about muscles, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. So the same goes for your brain. If you don't use those billions of neurons, then you lose them. Just a fun fact or an interesting number for you, there is 87 billion neurons, and each neuron can make a couple of connections or as many as 30,000 connections. So if you have a very complex and challenging job, it seems to be one of the most protective factors for your brain. So if you're forever learning new things, if you are trying to figure out new ways of dealing with something, then it's very protective for your brain. And now let's talk about toxic food, because our topic is food, nutrition, and brain. So guys, first of all, when we talk about weight, a lot of times there's like politically correctness when you don't want to say the words fat, you don't want, but I just want to be like clean here, right? So according to the research, they say that the they say that if your weight goes up, your brain function goes down. Sometimes it calls it a dinosaur brain, meaning the bigger your body is, the smaller your brain goes. Why it happens? Oh, also, before we get deeper into it, in South Africa here, we've got 31% of men, 68% of women, and 13% of children that are obese. And I'm not talking about overweight, I'm talking about being obese. So overweight rates are even higher than that. So they took, in a recent study, they took 100,000 scans and they looked at the brains of people of normal weight, people that are overweight, obese, and morbidly obese. And they looked at the blood flow in 100 different areas of the brain. And they noticed that there's a linear correlation. The higher you are, the heavier you are, the less effective your brain is. Now, also on that topic, if you have more toxins in your body, your fat stores those toxins. So the more fat you have, the more toxins in your body you've got. You also have lower hormone levels because fat turns healthy testosterone into a unhealthy cancer promoting estrogen. Your body is also in a constant inflammation mode of fight mode because fat produces inflammatory cells as well. In one of the books on brain health, on mental health, they talk about 11 bright minds rules that if you follow them, then you can improve your brain function and your mental health within days. And one of them is, it goes like this. It says, only love food that loves you back. Meaning, oftentimes people say, but I can't live without bacon, but I can't live without pizza. I love my cheese too much and my cupcakes, I have to have them every day. But it's, doctors talk about the healthy and unhealthy relationships. So if you're in a relationship, in an abusive relationship with someone who beats you all the time, who yells at you, who verbally insults you, but you stay with them, where's the logic? So the same goes for your food. If this food is bad for you, if it makes you pick up more weight, if it affects your heart, if it affects your brain, why do you keep on eating it? So this doctor mentions that you need to get yourself into the state where you only love the food that loves you back, which is what I found was very fascinating, very interesting. They also suggest that you only need to love. So sometimes people are like, but there's nothing that I'm going to love. I love what I love, and the healthy foods, I just don't love them. They suggest because we are creatures of habit, you need to only find 20 foods, healthy foods that you love, that you, with those 20 foods, you can already get on that journey to healthier lifestyle. They mentioned 5 most brain healthy foods, which are, I'll read it for you guys if you want to maybe write it down. And then they also mentioned 5 worst foods for brain. And the 5 healthier ones, the healthiest ones are green leafy vegetables, other veggies, some doctors say colorful veggies, nuts, berries, and beans, which are your legumes, which is your lentils, your black beans, your chickpeas, my favorite, and there's so many things you can do with the beans. So try to also on that topic, try to have beans at least once a day. They are super healthy for all over your body, for your heart, for blood sugar, for everything in between, and for your brain. And the 5 most dangerous foods for the brain are red meats, butter and stick margarine, cheese, pastries and sweets, and lastly, fried fast food. Also, with regards to sugar and sweets, guys, sorry, my dog is here. He wants to damage something. I'll come just now. Come here, out, look out, go out. No, stay out. Sorry, guys, he's very naughty and he chews everything. Yeah. All right. So with regards to sugar, sugar is very so it's pro-inflammatory, and it's very addictive. So with extra inflammation that you add into your body, you're making it very difficult to lead a healthy lifestyle. So if you can start removing that sugar out of your diet, for example, with coffee, guys, do you add sugar into your coffee or do you drink it black? So let's say you add 2 teaspoons of sugar. See if you can remove 1 teaspoon and just have 1 teaspoon of sugar from now on. Even small steps add to a healthier lifestyle. Good. Now, this doctor mentioned bright minds. So those are the products or the foods that you can eat to promote healthy brain. So for the blood flow, pistachios raise a chemical in the body that increases blood, that helps increase blood flow in your blood vessels. So eat your pistachios. Then R for retirement. So if you can see bright minds on, I don't know, guys, can you see the first letter of each word? So you can, that's how you can remember. Then retirement. As we age, our brains get more, less and less effective and less active. And one way to reverse aging, which is probably what we all want, especially us women, is to strengthen the antioxidant capability of your body. And most potent antioxidant on the planet is cloves. So add cloves to your foods, to your stir fries, if you stir fry, to whatever you make, just add cloves to add that antioxidant boost into your body. Inflammation is said to be the major cause of depression and dementia. So you want to incorporate omega-3s, turmeric, and curcumins into your lifestyle as well. So with turmeric, a very interesting thing is that's why actually they mention India, because Indians have a lot of, in India, they have a lot of spice, a lot of turmeric in their curries and everything. So with turmeric, it's not really bioavailable, which means your body doesn't digest it very well. But if you add black pepper to turmeric, the bioavailability increases by 2000%. So whenever you add turmeric into your food, don't forget to add some black pepper to it. It's just healthier and you reap a lot more benefits from it. Then genetics. So if you have genetic vulnerability, then your body produces, if you guys are interested in like terms, your body produces something called beta amyloid. And sage has a very important quality compound in it, the herb sage, that helps your memory, and it also tastes amazing. So you can add, when you make your food, add sage to your soups, to your stews and stuff, to your salads. Now, head trauma. So if there was an experiment or a study done on American football players, and they noticed that their cognitive function goes down because of how much head trauma they've got. So with head trauma, they say that shrimps boost choline, which helps our brain make a chemical that's very important and very helpful for memory. So if you guys like seafood, just make sure it's good. It's not polluted and it's clean. So if you like shrimps, so doctors suggest that shrimps are good for increased memory. Then toxins, because we live in such a toxic world, the deodorants that we use, toxic relationships, toxic friends, toxic air that we breathe in. You want to make sure that you detoxify your body regularly. And one of the great ways to detoxify is to use cabbage products or cabbage foods from the cabbage family, which is your cauliflower is amazing, Brussels sprouts, all those cruciferous vegetables, they help your body, they help your liver detoxify. So see if you can daily add cauliflower or broccoli or cabbage or arugula into your foods. Then mental health. So saffron is a beneficial spice, and it's also known as antidepressant. So you can always, it boosts your memory and decreases your appetite, which is also a good part about it. So see if you can add saffron as well. But also, guys, so the rule of thumb, you want to add as many spices and herbs as you can, because they are the most nutrient types of products, foods on the planet. So just have like a little shelf of, maybe one day I'll show you my little shelf of herbs and spices. And they notice that people that add herbs and spices, they tend to enjoy their food more, and they tend to add less sugar, less fat into their meal. So try to incorporate as many herbs and spices, see which ones you prefer, which ones you love, which ones you don't feel like they don't tickle your taste buds. Now, so mental health, saffron, immunity and infections. So one of the great ways to strengthen your immune system is to boost your vitamin D level. Fortunately, here in South Africa, we're quite lucky, especially here in Gauteng. We're quite lucky with the number of sunny days that we've got, and we absorb vitamin D from the sun. But unfortunately, some people don't absorb it or don't digest it properly. So it's always good to see your levels of vitamins and nutrients and minerals in your body just to make sure you're on point. But usually, because we're in South Africa, because we're in such a beautiful climate, most of us are good. But then again, the older you get, the less effective you become in that matter. So just to be sure, get yourself checked regularly so that you're safe. Now, neurohormones. So for men and women, testosterone is critical to your sense of energy, motivation, mood, memory, libido, and sugar. Oh, and libido. So, and if you eat a lot of sugar, if you eat a lot of sweets, then the level of your testosterone drops. So you want to start adding pomegranate, which can strengthen your testosterone, which is tasty, and it's also very helpful. Now, there's a new term that recently was introduced. It's called diabesity. And diabesity is when you combine the high blood sugar, diabetes, and pre-diabetes, and if you are overweight. It also increases your risk of memory problems. And if you start adding cinnamon, as if you can see here, guys, so you see how many spices we use just to help not just your brain function, but also all around the body. So you can start adding cinnamon, which helps you stabilize your blood sugar, boost your mood, and can decrease your appetite, which is also a really cool part about that. And then sleep. A lot of us, especially recently with COVID and everything, a lot of us, because of the anxiety, tend to sleep a lot less effective and a lot less altogether. So they compare lack of proper sleep with head injury. So cherry juice naturally has melatonin in it, and that's the hormone that helps you sleep. So see cherry juice or just cherries, like when the season comes, popping cherries is very nice and refreshing as well. Now, also with brain supplements. So supplements are good in like I believe that most of the goodies you can get from your food, but me being mostly plant-based, I need to, for example, to supplement with B12, but also most of the people, because we live in such a sterile world, we need to supplement B12, because B12 is actually not a it's not a vitamin. It comes from bacteria. And because earlier, like back in the day, when we ate a dirty apple, when we ate a dirty whatever, we got that bacteria in our body. But now they say that because of how sterile, a lot of people actually B12 deficient. So see if you check your levels, but see if you supplement B12 as well. With anxiety and stress, here are some supplements that you can use with mood, with memory. If this is something that you're interested in, you can just screenshot it and keep it for a rainy day. But I just wanted to mention ashwagandha. I was going through a lot of anxiety and stress about a few years ago, and mental fog and fatigue. So ashwagandha helped me big time, and I got mine from Springbok Pharmacy in the Solo. I think the brand is Solo. So ashwagandha helped me big time. So if you struggle with fatigue, chronic fatigue, or anxiety, so see if you want to check that out. Now, another doctor that presented on that summit was Dr. Dale Bredesen, and he's also very famous in Alzheimer's field. He put out the first program to prevent and reverse cognitive decline. So he calls his regime a DES code, which stands for diet. And here again, he mentions colorful veggies, low glycemic index, which is, you don't want to go for white bread and sweets and sugar and stuff. And also you want to incorporate a lot of fiber. And a lot of times people don't know actually where fiber comes from. There is no fiber in animal products, but there is a lot of fiber in plant products. So it's your vegetables, it's your beans that have a lot of fiber. So you want to incorporate them daily. For example, with beans, for me, it was very difficult because I didn't like the taste. But they suggest that at least once a day, better 3 times a day, you want to have a serving of beans. And what you can do, you can add, let's say, chickpeas into your salad, or you can roast chickpeas with some cumin and Cajun spice, or you can make a hummus out of chickpeas, and then dip your carrots and broccoli and a cauliflower in it, and some nice healthy snack. And it also, you see now here we got the beans, we got the cruciferous vegetables. So you crossed off a few things off the list for your mental health and also for your body health. Now, exercise. Obviously, we need to exercise. A lot of people, because of the lifestyle that we lead, we don't have enough exercise. Then sleep, as I mentioned before, and stress. So try to monitor those and see. We'll later on, we still have time, right? Sorry guys, I'm speaking so much. I'm talking too much. Good. So now, a lot of times, so I consider us a Western world, right? Even though, we're in Africa, but we still sort of fall into that. And they talking about the SAD diet, which is a standard American diet, but the more generic term for it is a Western diet, which is your lots of sugar, lots of fats, a lot of red meat, a lot of processed foods, a lot of fried foods. So this is the diet that leads different issues, health issues and brain issues. And also the standard American lifestyle or standard Western lifestyle, which is not enough sleep, a lot of stress, when you don't have enough of vitamin D, not enough vitamin E, and so a lot of people have the leaky gut syndrome. So just keep them in check just to make sure they're on point. So this doctor suggested the recode diet for the Alzheimer's prevention. And again, so instead of writing it down, guys, you can just screenshot it so you have it. And here it's mostly or largely plant-based. The majority of food is comprised of vegetables, which is mostly non-starchy. So potatoes are starchy, for example, corn is starchy, beets are starchy, and I'm not saying those are bad foods. So those goods are good for your general health, but if you want to go on a Alzheimer prevention diet, you want to maybe reduce them until you return to just a general healthy lifestyle. Then they suggest to eliminate all simple carbs, which is your sweets, processed foods, also dairy, because a lot of people are allergic to dairy, to lactose, and I believe 70% of people are lactose intolerant. We don't have that special enzyme that helps us process lactose. So see if you can remove that from your diet, see how that makes you feel. Also gluten. So with gluten, it's a little bit of controversial because very small percent, like I believe 3% of people, population is gluten intolerant. But gluten is in a lot of healthy grains. So if you remove the gluten, you're removing the health benefits of those grains as well. So just, see how it makes you feel. Also include more fruits. If you like seafood, they call it smash fish. So it's a low mercury wild fish, and you can check it here, what that fish is. And include both raw and cooked veggies and as many colors as possible. And the last doctor that I want to talk about is Dr. David Perlmutter, and he's the biggest world-renowned neurologist, and he talks a lot about how lifestyle affects your brain. And he also mentions, does a lot of research on depression and mental issues, ADHD and stuff like that. So with regards to ADHD and ADD, 1 in 20 children have ADHD. And sorry guys, just want to see here in South Africa. So these are the South African stats, and 1 million adults. And the problem is they found in the British Medical Journal that 79% of hyperactive children improved when artificial coloring and flavorings and added sugars were eliminated from the diet. And then the levels became worse again when those products were reintroduced into the diet. So what happens now, they try to medicate children earlier and earlier in life, and that has a long-term consequences, obviously. They checked 11 million people, and 32,000 of those people previously had ADHD. And from there, they noticed that people that get medicated early in life, they have a high risk of developing Parkinson's disease as an adult. And there's 9-fold, so 9 times more chance of getting Parkinson's as an adult if you're heavily medicated with that ADHD medication early in life. And then there's no study that indicates that actually giving those medications to or ADHD medications to your children improves their improves their long-term effect on academic achievement. So that's what parents are usually told. If your child has ADHD, give them medication so they can study better and stuff like that. So there's no research that supports that data. So guys, be careful and be careful with that. Now, okay, so a lot of times they, when they did the research, they found that ADHD and gut issues are related. And Dr. David Perlmutter says that first thing you need to focus on your diet, and that fiber is the king. So fiber, as I mentioned, is in all of the vegetable products or plant-based products. So you want to make your gut healthy because, as they said, gut is your second brain. So start adding more fiber into your diet and keep your gut healthy to try to remove as many risks of developing cognitive decline as you can. Now, with depression, actually, Candice and I we were speaking in before we started the session. In South Africa, 20% of South Africans struggle with depression, and the lifetime, so hear this out. So lifetime prevalence of depression in South Africa is 9.7%, and 20% of South Africans, at least once in their lifetime, are going to have depressive disorder, which is crazy. And there are 23 known suicides daily, and out of each suicide, there is a 10 attempts of suicide. So depression is a huge factor in all around the world and here in South Africa. And what happens is, again, so depression, yes, it's a mental issue, but as doctors suggest, it all starts in the brain. It all starts with the food that we put in. So if you have high level of inflammation, you do not use that ability of your body to access your more sophisticated part of your brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex. And this is the part of brain that's responsible for compassion, for empathy, for thinking far ahead, thinking about the future. And instead we access with high level of inflammation, we focus more or use more of our reptilian brain. And that part of brain has a lot less empathy. We don't care about other people. We only focus on ourselves. We think about the now, living in the now, not thinking about the future. now the practical steps, something that we can do to decrease our risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. First thing, I just want to mention the dairy. I don't know about you guys, but since I'm Russian, when I was little, we were always brainwashed, and they were telling us, you need to drink milk to get healthy bones. You're going to get healthy. You need to have a couple of glasses of milk a day and you'll be set. But the recent research actually says that most of the population is lactose intolerant. There is no benefit in drinking milk. Also, when it comes to brain, casein, which is a primary protein in milk, can lead to brain inflammation and neurodegenerative disease. So drinking milk doesn't have that many or any benefits for the brain altogether. So just remember, most of the people are intolerant anyway. Then on top of that, the way that milk is produced, our cows are pumped with hormones, with antibiotics. Also, they are not in a very happy spot. They remember the babies were taken away just for us to milk them. So they struggle a lot with anxiety, depression, anger. And what happens is when we have those negative emotions, then they release a negative chemical into our body. So by them being in that state, those people that drink milk, those people that eat dairy, they consume all those negative compounds as well. Also, that casein, which is the milk protein that I told you about, it works on the opiate center in the brain. That's why we get so hooked on pizza and cheese, because it affects that the part of brain that gets us into the addictive mode. Okay, guys, we have 10 minutes. I'm going to be done soon. Sorry, guys. Then saturated fat. So with saturated fat, you often get it in so saturated fat. It's something that's usually solid in room temperature, and then it melts. It melts as it touches us, right? So like your coconut oil and butter and margarine, cheeses. Also, red meat is high in saturated fat. And if you consume a lot of saturated fat on a daily basis, on a regular basis, your risk of cognitive decline goes up, shoots up. And also, high cholesterol levels in our blood tend to increase the risk of dementia. I'm just gonna quickly go through this because I don't want to hold you guys for too long. So basically, try to remove as much saturated fat from your diet as you can. Sometimes people say that you get saturated fat just in your animal product, but as you know, coconut oil is not really an animal product. And also, I fell for that trick. Because they were saying that coconut oil, because of their medium chain triglyceride, they are very healthy. It's very healthy, but it's saturated fat. So try to consume as little of it as possible. And then also Mediterranean diet. So I don't know, guys, if you know anything about the diet altogether, but Mediterranean diet is said to be one of the healthiest. And then Dr. Shazai looked at Mediterranean diet just to see what actually adds to that health aspect of the diet. And she found that it's mostly plants, which is your fruit, veggies, beans, nuts, seeds, and whole grains that have that protective component to the diet. So try to have more of them in your diet. Also, with that, it's not about you should remove all the unhealthy things out of your diet, but instead of focusing on the things that you'll have to remove, like the things that you love but you have to remove, focus on the things that you can add to your diet to have that protective effect for your brain and for your body. Obviously, plants are best. Leafy greens, they add 11 years to your cognitive function. Blueberries add 2.5 years. So try to eat as many leafy greens in a reason. Of course, you just don't want to munch on them all the time. And here, just a little topic on the fat. Sometimes people say that brain is mostly fat, so you need to give it a lot of fat for the healthy function. So with brain, yes, it consists of 60% of fat, but it also consists of water, salt, carbs, and protein. And the fat that was developed, or the brain that was developed with the fat in it, it needed the fat in the developmental stage. So after that, brain actually produces its own fat. So the only fat brain actually needs is your omega-3s, healthy omega-3s, which you can get in your nuts, in your seeds, which is chia seed or flax seed. With flax seed, you want to grind them because the shells are quite thick and they don't get digested. But if you grind flax seeds or linseeds, then you can get that healthy omega-3s. You can also supplement with DHA and other omega-3s, because depending on how effectively you absorb and digest your omega-3s. Here, the omega-3s, if you have a handful of nuts a day, if you have 1 to 2 tablespoons of seeds, which I mentioned, chia, flax, and Greenalicious supplies them at a very affordable price. So guys, you maybe want to check this out. You want to have greens and supplements and turmeric, and then you should be set. And also supplements, as I mentioned, you should be set with your omega-3s and fats for your brain. Vitamin D, just make sure you convert that from the sun properly. As we age, conversion is less efficient. With iron, some people are deficient, some people are not. You generally want to go for non-heme iron. So the difference between heme and non-heme is that non-heme is the plant source and heme is the animal source. And a very interesting part about it is non-heme iron gets absorbed and treated by our body a lot better than heme iron. So heme iron, which is animal iron, just forces itself into your body, and your body has to do something with it. And non-heme, when you give your body non-heme iron from plants, your body goes like, okay, do I need iron now? Then I absorb that much. If I don't need it, I don't absorb it. So it's a more a proper relationship, if I can put it this way. Also, if you can have too much iron, so you don't want to eat or supplement too much iron if your levels are fine. So just also have that checked. So the last 2 slides, guys, and we'll be fine. So with a lifestyle, you want to have anaerobic activity. You want, let's say in the morning, you wake up early, you can go for a brisk walk around your complex or on the street if it's safe, so that you can get your exercise, you can get your vitamin D, and you can also, it also helps regulate your sleep cycles. Also, a very interesting study was done about muscles. So they say that when you grow your muscles, your brain function increases. And the study was performed on the leg muscles. So those people that have bigger leg muscles have bigger brains. How cool, how cool is that? So definitely do the weights training if you can, and also under supervision. So you don't want to hurt yourself when you pump that iron. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, you want to, so the effect of the early morning walk is not good enough. So it's not good enough just to have that. You have to stand up every hour, go for a little walk, just to fight that brain fog. And also on that note, your mental decline starts in your late 20s, early 30s. So you want to start now. Don't wait until you're 50. Don't wait until you're 60. Start now, getting into that healthy lifestyle as a habit. Build that habit now. Sorry, guys. Also, sleep. Sleep is a detox for your brain and for your body. How good is your sleep hygiene? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up? Do you fall asleep right away, or are there any thoughts running through your mind? If there are thoughts, don't stay in bed, because this is a habitual, you're building a new habit of staying in bed and thinking about all the things they have to do tomorrow, the day after, whatever. Get off the bed, sit in your chair, get a piece of paper and write those thoughts down, so that you don't associate your bed with thinking and planning and stuff like that. Your bed is for your rest, your bed is for your sleep. And last one, I promise. So this one, guys, you need to, so the action steps, you need to have 7-8 hours of proper sleep. So don't watch TV before you go to bed. Don't work on your computer because of the blue lights of the computer. Don't go do that before, or don't be on your phone before you go to bed. Have that easing, easing off of all the world's matters before you go to bed. Then wake up early, go for the jog, or get that vitamin D. Eat more greens, more whole grains. If just see if you are gluten intolerant, then remove gluten. If you're not one of the, I think it's like 3% of population, then eat your gluten, because it's your you get a lot of nutrients together with the gluten. Then handful of nuts. Also, when you go for nuts, don't go for salted, don't go for sweetened, don't go for coated, just go for raw nuts. For 1 to 2 tablespoons of seeds. I usually alternate between the chia seeds and flax seeds or linseeds. Exercise. So with exercise, you don't want to just like walk slowly. You want to have your heart pumping. You want to have that shortness of breath. Then again, consult with your doctor if you're allowed to do that. Turmeric, as I mentioned before, when you add turmeric, add black pepper to it so it's more bioavailable. Challenging brain activity. So yes, it's your, crossword words and stuff, but also doing things that you enjoy that are challenging for you, that are passionate about, but they're challenging for you. Meditation, enjoy. Even the doctors suggest that this is a good thing to do. Also oral hygiene. Do you floss? Do you brush regularly? Do you brush your tongue, or do you only brush your teeth? Because you don't want to have that bacteria flushing down your system. So brush and floss regularly. Detox with the help of cruciferous vegetables, your cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and supplements, especially B12, B6, vitamin C. Do you get enough of that? Vitamin D, iron, just make sure your levels are on point, omega-3s. And yeah, guys, so, and then you'll be healthy, your brain is going to be healthy, and you can make sure that you're not the statistics, you're not one of those people that got the disease, and you could prevent you could prevent that for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. And that's me, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen right now. And yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know if that was interesting for you, because there's another webinar that we planned with Candice, which is on immunity. Again, I'm not an immunologist, but I have all that information that I learned from the top immunologists, top doctors in the United States. So I can share that with you as well. And guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Candice, I don't know if you want to add something.
This was amazing. It's very interesting. I think a lot of people also, according to the chat, very interesting topic, very interesting. So you got quite a few comments on that. So
Awesome.
no, it really is helpful, especially I was writing notes and everything because of the Alzheimer's and the cognitive decline, and which does affect a lot of people in my circle. At least there's one. Yeah. So very interesting from how everything gets affected and has a knock-on effect.
Well, I hope you guys picked up something useful, something actionable that you can do to help yourself. And it was a pleasure. Candice, thank you again so much. Thank you for the push. I needed it. And I hope I'll see you guys soon.
Sure, cool, man.
Thank you, Oli. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
That was absolutely fascinating. I'm going to have to go through it later again.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad it was interesting. Bye.
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 Bye.